Greetings, I'm Ryan.
And I'm DMJ. We got the Lucky Charms here. We got the Guinness Abound.
And that can only mean one thing. A very special St. Patrick's Day episode of
Tavern Talks. So, other than the Lucky Charms, the Guinness, and having fun with wearing green, what's this going to be about today?
Well, today I wanted to dive in to the wee folk of Dungeons and Dragons. I think they get kind of overlooked. So we're going to put a little highlight on halflings and gnomes today, and then we've got a special homebrew idea for you at the end.
Oh, so stick around. So starting off, one of the wee folk is a halfling, correct?
Yeah.
Hobbit-like character?
Absolutely. Prayer at your feet and all.
So what's so good about the halfling and tying it into St. Patrick's Day here?
Well, halflings have an incredible ability called halfling luck. It's almost worth just playing a halfling just for this ability.
Okay, and what does that really comprise, Ryan?
Well, so what's the worst feeling in the world of playing Dungeons and Dragons other than when your character dies?
Not giving the DM enough food and drink?
That does make you feel pretty bad.
Okay,
But
I'm sorry. Other than that, of course,
rolling a one.
Oh, what a black cloud over your head.
Absolutely.
And you got to eat it, right?
Yeah.
Well,
it's just an automatic miss or whatever, plus whatever terrible critical miss thing that your DM contrives for you to do.
Okay, but unless, like I was saying, unless you're what?
Oh, unless you're a halfling. And then you have halfling luck.
And what does that really entail again now?
So, when you roll a one, you get to re-roll it.
Wait a minute.
If you're making an attack, an ability score, or a saving throw, and you roll a one as a halfling, you get to re-roll it once per day.
Okay, this is a made-up homebrew rule, right?
Printed in the book.
In the book?
In the book.
Okay. Remember how I'm playing a dwarf in our game? Is there a big eraser I can get? Because, man, I don't want to roll a one again.
Well, okay. So there is hope for you yet, right?
Okay.
If you're playing another race, you don't have to have the luck of the halfling, okay? You can play your good character. Hopefully your DM or GM will recognize that and grant you inspiration.
Oh, that's the stuff I wipe off my head.
No.
Okay.
No, not going there. Inspiration is where you are rewarded for good role playing, doing something heroic, just making the story extra fun is how I generally reward it.
Right. It's for a DM to tell a player, hey, you kind of shined a little bit and I want to reward you, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that essentially lets you take a re-roll on another action later in the game as well.
Oh, any basic reroll?
I believe so.
Wow. So, okay. I fumbled. My party's dying. I'm the last one that can get the good shot in, and I roll a one, and I'm not a halfling. That inspiration, I just trade it in, right?
That's right.
Roll again and hope, right?
Yep.
Oh, I don't have to be a halfling after all.
But they're so pretty cool.
Okay. Are there some other wee folk, though, you can play?
Yes. I actually really enjoy the new gnomes quite a bit. They have a really cool ability where they get advantage. For those of you who don't know what advantage is, we'll get into that. Advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws versus magical effects. They are described as very magical and fey-like creatures in the 5th edition handbook. So they've got that connection to magic already, which makes them already just better at overcoming any kind of magical obstacle that's put their way.
And that's inherent being part of their racial class being a gnome, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And, obviously gnomes and halflings both have sub-races that you can get into. We're not going to dive too deep into that, but I did want to at least mention that is just being a gnome.
Well, and also, it's a fun part about playing a gnome is usually, not always, but they're on the usually cheerful, very jovial side, right?
Absolutely. It's built into who they are. They see life as just a fun adventure, and sometimes that can get your party in trouble.
Making friends wherever they go.
Get a big mouth.
Oh, yeah, making friends wherever they go, like I said, or talking too much about things.
Absolutely.
But, probably in their heart of hearts, they keep St. Patrick's Day all year round, huh?
I think so.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on to something else, maybe?
Absolutely. There's still one more St. Patrick's Day race I wanted to talk about. Okay, so we've talked about the halfling, we've talked about the gnome.
Right.
We want to get into one more race that we just couldn't find anywhere in the Monsters Manual, Volo's Guide to Monsters, but really sums up what St. Patrick's Day is about.
The cloverleaf?
The leprechaun.
The leprechaun! We found records of them dating back to the advanced D&D days, Monster Manual, and I'm quite surprised that we don't find them in the 5th edition Monster Manual book anywhere, or any trails of that into even Volo's Guide to the monsters. What do you think's on their minds for that, Wizard of the Coast? You think they kind of dropped the ball on that one?
I don't know if they. So traditionally, or from what you discovered earlier, they're kind of a mesh of monsters, right? They've got some background as being part pixie, part halfling, I believe. Mm-hmm. So you've got this mischievous side to them. They've got some other things. I think they may have worked some of those into some of the other monsters that are out there. Maybe they're saving it for another Monsters Manual. That's Wizards of the Coast is known to print multiple monster manuals.
Okay.
However, as of the taping of this show, there is no canon leprechaun.
I find that quite amazing. I've also in the annals of the books and whatnot that they could be quite pesky and mischievous and fun-loving all wrapped into one. You can find a leprechaun that wants your gold and will deceive you, or you could find one that seems to be on your side if you just happen to give him a gold or two. And they really desire that gold. But I don't think they're very combative about it, are they?
No, you're not going to come across a pack of wild leprechauns, looking to slit your throat in the middle of the night. However, you might wake up to it dragging your chest away while it's casting invisibility on itself.
That's right, because in the old annals and books, at will, they could do illusions, they could do invisibility, they could even cause some ventriloquism to take you off your guard and leave your treasure from your campsite. They're very cunning opponents. Could be even more trickier than rogues and rogue-type people, and their charisma could be quite high. But, St. Patrick's Day is upon us. How am I going to homebrew one? What would you suggest?
Well, what I would suggest is leaving a comment below for how you're going to build a leprechaun and how you're going to use it in your game and what stats you would give a leprechaun and what abilities you would give them and how you would make that a fun monster or encounter for your players to come across.
And we could all share it and use it maybe quick as a lick, right?
That's right.
All right.
Thanks.
Eder and go brah. It being St. Patrick's Day and all, I want to give a special shout out to that ooze of ooze green slime. Now, you're not going to find it in your monster manual, but if you're a pretty tricky DM, you could mesh something between an ochre jelly maybe and a gray ooze, making it green, putting it on your characters. They have to be wearing the green, don't they? What better way to wear the green than while it's eating them away? Think about it.
Okay, keeping with tradition, today's spell focus, we are going to cover a fun spell. I think that's often overlooked. It is a 0-level cantrip spell called Prestidigitation. Jay, what does this funny spelled word do?
Well, actually, it lets you create an illusion, harmless sensory effects such as, a bad odor, a little gust of wind maybe, or something like that. I also do believe that if there's a candle or a small fireplace, if it's not lit, you could just light it. If it is lit, you can snuff it out. You could also clean or soil some very small objects. It's just kind of take the awareness off any sort of either creature or other characters if you're trying to trick them.
Okay, so this is perfect for you halflings and gnomes out there who are looking for something to add to your arsenal to throw off an opponent or do some kind of magical parlor trick. Maybe you have a charlatan background and you want to earn some side coin by, turning somebody's beer green.
Now, what is the range on this?
So you have a range of 10 feet. So this isn't like a long range spell. It's got to be near you of some kind. And it only lasts for up to an hour.
Well, that's a pretty long time.
Long enough for you to get out of town.
So if you have like some mean pack of animals that would want to eat or something, you could create the odor of flesh or something nearby and trail them off? Is that what we're talking about?
Absolutely.
Things like that?
This spell has no end of useful ways to apply it. This is another one of those tricks that it's not fireball. It's not a spell. You're not rolling a damage dice, but you can certainly avoid some fights or lure something away.
Now, this is a cantrip, which means it's not even going to cost all of you spellcasters a spell slot to use. And I also saw in the book that you can have up to 3 of these running at once. Oh, it just came to me. The other day in the tavern, I was sitting there with a bunch of those halflings. My beard turned green.
There you go.
Prestidigitation.
Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed your stay, like or subscribe below.
Hey, and good luck, everybody, finding your own pot of gold. And we'll see you on the next
Tavern Talks.